Hello, Mr. Randy Dack, and welcome back for another video. Today I've got 3 replays to show you in the Tier 8 American Premium Autoloader Medium Tank, the Astron Rex 105. Now I have already got a few replays in this tank already, but I had a few replays saved up and I needed to make some space, so I thought I would get these replays out for you. The first one being on El Haloof. We are top tier and no fun police. There is a few light tanks in the game though. Now usually I would go to the sort of heavy flank on the the A1-2 area and play those ridge lines. But to be honest, I just wanted to do something a bit different this game. It is team destruction, don't have to worry about being capped out. And I was going to try and push aggressively this way and see if I can climb the ridge and get behind the enemy team. As I say, usually I'd go to the other side, but I decided today, in this replay, I was going to do something a little bit different. So we've got a Vanguard going ahead, hopefully should spot a few tanks. And yeah, it looks like the enemy light tanks haven't really contested us in this area, which is nice because that's going to give me the freedom to crime. But as that happens, the vengeance comes in. I have to deal with this tank before we do anything. We get one shot in. Unfortunately, we do track them, but they repair, and unfortunately, we don't damage. He is full health, and I thought, you know what, I'm actually going to pull back and try and bait him into me, because if he does that, he's going to take a few shots just like that, and now he's going to be an easier kill, and I won't have to use as many hit points to get rid of this tank. So we get one in. He's going to get one in, or well, he should get one in, but unfortunately, thankfully for me, he doesn't, and we're able to confirm the kill and pick up 600 of damage on our own. We're going to go on a reload now, because this tank basically has if you see my other replays, it's got a 5-shot auto loader. It's fairly stealthy. I think got the concealment down to 274. Reasonable mobility, gets to 52 kilometers an hour. Sometimes I feel it is a little bit sluggish at times when you climb these hills, etc. But overall, it is a pretty decent tank. Now I'm trying to push up and get behind the enemy team, because as you can see in the top corner of the map, that is where I probably usually play. Unfortunately, our team, at least appears, doesn't look like it's going too well for us. So I need to try and win this side of the map as quickly as possible before we're stuck in a situation where we've lost all control of the map. If the enemy team take that side, obviously I don't have to worry about being capped. So it is kill all. So I can at least try and win this side of the map and sort of do a full circle, if you like. So we push up, we spotted this enemy heavy tank in the base. We should be a fairly easy kill for us here. We've got the Vanguard help us. We get one shot in, looking for the finish. Unfortunately, it does get taken out by the Vanguard, and I did waste a shot there. Now at this point, I probably should poke this ridge behind me to make sure there's nothing camping behind. But I just took it looked like our Vanguard was going over there, and I just took a gamble not to, because I wanted to try and get to the damage quickly as we could, which does turn out to be a little bit of a mistake. We'll get to that. But we're looking to try now and get any shots on enemy tanks crossing in the middle, trying to push over to enemy team. It's an enemy Vanguard. He's actually climbing, so he's going to be a bit slowed down. So we are going to look to try and get a shot into this tank. We aim that shot for the tank. Unfortunately, I don't know where that when. It doesn't pen though. But this time we are able to hit the Vanguard. But there we go. We now have tanks actually behind us, which I probably should have checked, because that's going to be a bit awkward. We are going to get the kill on this tank, but not before he gets one in and puts us on a one-shot. Thankfully, the Scorpion G doesn't kill me, but I'm now in a very awkward situation. I get one in blind in that Vanguard, but I can't stay here because that Scorpion can poke and kill us. I've just got to try and take a risk to get into cover now, and it is a risk because I'm on a one shot. I'm just hoping, as you see, 2 shots just fly straight over us there. Get very fortunate. That's probably my mistake for not checking what enemy tanks were behind us, because they did end up poking, lighting us, and then putting us in a real situation. But the Scorpion, as you see, has just got taken out by a Hollowhand, so we don't have to worry about that now. At least we know behind us is clear. But the enemy Vanguard's coming up to finish us off, but he is a one-shot to us, and we do manage to get that shot in before that happens. But we are, we're not in a great situation. We're on 279 hit points. We're a one-shot to a lot of the tanks left in the game now. Definitely a 2-shot. But we should be able to hopefully get a finish on this enemy light tank, which we do. We get spotted for in return. But as you can see, the enemy tanks have now pushed right underneath this ridge. which is not ideal for me because I want to try and get out of this situation, because if they push up that ridge, like I say, I'm a one shot, I'm going to get taken out. So I want to try and escape. I'm trying to push up to this top of this ridge so I can get out a little bit safer. I'm obviously keeping the gun looking behind me in case something comes up and I need to shoot them. But slowly we are getting whittled down here. We're now down to 4 versus 7. I get spotted before I get to the top, but thankfully I just managed to get in time. There isn't any Oni in the open I spotted, which I will have shots on. So once I've lost my spot, before I move, I'm just going to see if I can get any damage into this Oni. He's not going to spot us from here. We're well out of his spotting range, and we're shooting behind cover. We get one in, but we lose our spot, unfortunately, and we just go for a blind shot before we go on a reload and get out of here. Because it is, like I say, now 4 versus 7. It's not looking ideal. It's now a 3 versus 7, and we are a one shot. A few of the tanks, though, are enemy heavy tanks, and at least we've got rid of the enemy light tanks, which are the biggest threat when you come to this sort of stage of a battle, because obviously I've got decent camo and okay mobility. I'm definitely going to be able to outmaneuver things like the Lova and the Oni on this map, so they're not much of a problem if they're stuck in the open like this Oni. He's my next kill, but like I say, potentially tanks could be moving up the ridge behind me, and tanks could be coming behind me, so I want to try and get out of there, rotate round, see if we can just deal with a tank and get this numbers back down to a bit more even. The Oni seems the obvious kill at this point. I want to just try and see if I can get to a position where I can shoot them and not get detected, because I don't want to get detected. So I had a shot there, but I wasn't going to shoot in case I get detected. Now I've got behind the cover, I'm shooting through like 3 bushes, so he's never going to detect us through there. We get one shot in, and then he gets slapped by our Sturm Tiger P, who goes on to have a really good game with us there. And it's one of the reasons I wanted to use this replay, because it wasn't one of my best damaging games, but we just had a nice bit of team play with the Sturm Tiger at the end, and I thought we'd show it, because of that. So we're seeing this enemy Borsig. Thankfully, the Sturm Tiger actually takes him out, because I didn't really want to have to shoot there, just because I could have got lit into doing so. But I probably would have done so if it meant potentially helping out our Sturm Tiger. But we are now on 4 kills, just over 3,000 damage. But we are back into a 3 versus 5, so we have brought this numbers back a little bit more even now. And I'm just trying to get out of there so I can use my view range, basically. 2 of the tanks left, I think. Well, at least one of them is a Lova. So we're going to be out to outmaneuver them. The Lova's in the open here. We're shooting through cover again here. We get one shot in. We're hoping to get the finish, but it just gets into cover. And now I don't want to get... the worst thing, if I get lit here, then I'm probably going to die. So I need to try and play this a little bit smarter. Sturm Tiger just slapped a tank there for like 700. So we know we've got at least that tank's in a clippable range for us now. But what I'm going to do is I'm going to push round to see if we can deal with that tank fighting our Sturm Tiger. But I have noticed a medium tank is fighting on behind us, and they've just got taken out down a 1-2 line. And now those tanks have got killed on a 1-2 line, I'm thinking I need to create an angle, because obviously I can't brawl because I don't have the hit points. And we're now in a 4 versus 2. But I want to get up to this top of this ridge, because our Sturm Tiger is actually full health. So I'm basically going to try and create a second angle with the Sturm Tiger, so we're both looking out over each other. The Sturm Tiger is full health, so I'm sort of using the Sturm Tiger as bait, if you like. But then my plan is to get to a position, so if they push the Sturm Tiger out of that position, I've got covering shots to help them out. And I've got my 5-shot clip. I could potentially kill a clip. So you can see that we can both see each other. So if they push the Sturm Tiger, I should have shots. If they actually push me up the hill and ignore our Sturm Tiger, then our Sturm Tiger should have shots. So I'm thinking that's the best play, rather than sit right next to each other where the enemy team doesn't have to focus. And just like here, Lova's just pushed to try and get a shot into the Sturm Tiger. This wasn't where I was here. I poked up and got the kill. So that's exactly what I was talking about. I am now lit, so chances are that's not going to work as so easy, because the enemy team are going to know, if they are paying attention to the minimap, where I was last located. But I am still going to hold this angle, because there's a Rex here who's on just over 320 health. So it's a 1-shot to me if I high roll, but more likely a 2-shot. I'm a 1-shot to him unless he really low rolls. So chances are I'm probably a 1-shot. But in this position, if this Rex pushes me, then the Sturm Tiger should be able to get shots into them. So I'm going to try and light this tank again, because obviously I need to keep him detected so he's got shots. But I'm also, I'm aware there's two other tanks as well, which I need to try and keep an eye out for. And we do get lit, but we do also detect that Rex there. Like I say, if he pushes any further up, then the Sturm Tiger is going to have shots at that tank. And there we go, he does have shots, and he takes out that Rex. And between us, we sort of work quite well together there, and we pick up another kill. Putting myself onto, well, he picks up another kill, and I'm now on 5 kills, just shy of 4,000 damage. And we brought the game back to a 2v2. There is one medium now, and I think he's going to push the Rex, and I'm going to have the side shots. I think he's going to push the Sturm Tiger, and I'm going to have side shots. But he's stopped because I think the Sturm Tiger is looking at him, and the Sturm Tiger does really well there. Deletes that tank, bringing this back to a 2 versus 1. So at this stage, I'm feeling pretty confident because our Sturm Tiger is still full health. Yes, I'm a one shot, but it's a Jag Tiger. What I've got to do is get round that tank, and it's not going to be able to shoot me. So I'm waiting for the Sturm Tiger to come in. To be honest with you, I'm expecting the Sturm Tiger to delete this tank. But if he doesn't, I'm going to be there to get behind it and take it out. So it looks like, I don't think our Sturm Tiger actually hit that shot, and he then bounces, but it's allowed me to get the kill. And that brings us an end to that replay. So I say not the biggest damage game, but I just kind of wanted to use it because we had it's not very often you get a little bit of team play with a random person in the pub game. So I thought I'd share it. But we get the first cast, we get the ace tanker, we get 6 kills, and it's still a pretty decent game. And yeah, that's it for replay number 1, but 2 more to come. Okay, so here we are for replay number 2 on Fisherman's Bay. We are top tier again, and no enemy fun police, which is very, very nice on Fisherman's Bay. There is 2 enemy light tanks to contend ourselves with, and initially at the start, being that there's no artillery, that does help a lot. But we're going to push to the mid-ridge, see if we can spot anything, see if we can get any shots, work out where the enemy team is, and once we kind of worked out where the majority of their tanks are, it's at that point where we can decide, what to do next. But initially, I'm just going to try and see what we spot at the start. So the enemy 2 light tanks are to my left. I'm looking to see if we can get any shots. See the shot into this medium. Maybe I should have pulled out a bit earlier, but I was waiting for it to aim in, and I did aim in for the cupola. Unfortunately, it doesn't penetrate. But we have spotted 2 enemy tanks there. I'm just going to get into position now, just to spot the cross to see if any enemy tanks, if any of the enemy heavy tanks decide to push into the town. And if they do that from this position, I do actually have side shots into them as they make that approach. But as it stands at the moment, no one's moved up. But also I got here fairly quickly, so they might not be pushing just yet. But looking at the mini map, it kind of looks like the majority of the team are sort of playing the 1-2 / mid-ridge area, and it doesn't, from the face of it, it doesn't appear that anyone has pushed to town. So my initial plan now is, if the town's free, which right at the moment you can see that medium tank hasn't got detected, but I'm just going to try and push all the way around to like A890 area, or the A89 area, and that way any of these tanks on the mid-ridge here, I'll be able to get shots in. Basically, they'll no longer be safe on that mid-ridge, so they'll have to move. Obviously, the enemy team on the other side, they can just push over to the other side of the ridge. But if they don't, they're going to be trapped, and I'm going to get shots into them. So I'm going to push forward. You can see the light attack's already spotted this out. There's nothing here. So I'm going to try and push forward, but I do get a little bit lazy here. I've taken the shorter route, which is risky. I do have silent driving on the tank, but it doesn't work out well for me because I get detected, which I could have avoided by taking a longer route, and I've paid the ultimate price here because I've lost a lot. Well, to be fair, I've got away with it. I've lost a lot of hit points, but could have been worse. But it just could have been avoided if I took a more safer route. But I went for the quicker route and took a gamble. I get behind this ridge to lose my spot before I move because I don't want to take any more unnecessary damage to try and get to the location I was in. And also the thing with me getting detected as well, it's obviously delayed me getting to the position I wanted to get to, and it also means the enemy team are going to be more aware of it, so we're not going to get the surprise shots. But there is a medium tank inside. This is what I was kind of talking about. when they get stuck into this position, I've now got the shots in, and it's just a way of kind of breaking the game, trying to break the deadlock of that position. And you know, we do that nicely, picking up a couple of shots, putting us under 600 damage, but not the best start of the game, because I have lost hit points, and I've not got a great deal out of it. But at least we've sort of started to try and attempt to sort of deny the enemy team some map control, although it does appear that they haven't really won down the 1-2, so we have kind of taken quite a lot of the map control away from them. One of our friendly tanks is sitting in the cap, which I guess is going to force the enemy team to try and deal with that situation. But every time I get into spotted at the moment, I am getting detected. It could be there's a light tank in a bush somewhere, or it could just be those TDs on the hill which are spotting me. I'm trying to push up behind the bush when I do push up there. One enemy medium tank that you see here is coming to try and reset the cap. The enemy TD, I actually managed to bounce a shot there, a big shot, which is probably off of that Scorpion G. And so that was quite lucky ricochet there. You do get the odd ricochet, but then this medium tank is just pushing us. That's a mistake because I'm an autoloader. He's not going to win that engagement, and I do have tanks behind us, but it has caused us to lose a few hit points. Enemy light tanks coming around. I can't kill this tank with the shots I've got, but I do have support. I get my 2 shots in. I'm just hoping they take him out before I lose any more hit points. But he does at least get taken out, but it's now put me on 350 hit points, which is a one shot to a lot of those enemy tank destroyers. I probably can eat a few shots of some of the mediums, but it's not an ideal situation to be in. But at least, yes, I've lost those hit points, but was it worth it for the enemy team? It's cost them 2 tanks to do so, and I've still got the gun in the game now. So we're just going to try and just look for shots where we can. But what it does mean losing these hit points is I can't push up aggressively to try and spot the hill, which would give me a lot of assistance, because I don't really have the hit points to do so. So I'm going to have to rely on my enemy light tank to actually detect some of the shots, and I've just got to try and try so I can get some of the shots in and punish them when they do get detected. So we have done that, putting ourselves onto 3,000 damage. But like I said, I'd like to push up just in front of where that light tank is to try and spot them and get the assistance, but being as low as I am, it's just not a risk I can take at this point, because we haven't won this game yet. So we get another shot here, but we get detected, and we're going to go on a reload while we lose our spot, and then hopefully just see if we can rinse and repeat, do get some more shots in basically, until the enemy team are trapped in that A1 area, and then we can just push over and try and finish off the game. We're going to start getting into position because we're almost off of reload. We've got about 5 seconds left to go. Like I say, it's still close. It's still very, very close at this point, but we just have a lot more control of the map. We get a blind shot in there. I'm going to get one more just in case he's moved, but I do get another shot, but I don't kill the tank. So I'm guessing I've hit a second tank, which I have, and that is actually the Emil, who's now actually just dumping this clip, but I'm hopefully going to get my clip into this tank, putting this onto just shy of 5,000 damage, 17 pens, a little bit of assistance, and we're slowly sort of dragging our way, forward to victory here. But like I say, I am still one shot, so I do have to be careful. I'm relying on the enemy team, my friendly team spotting for me. If not, I'd like to push right up underneath their ridge at this point, because if I get underneath their ridge safely, they can't, they'd have to overpeak to shoot me, and they should, in theory, get absolutely destroyed by the team in the middle of the map. But to get there is risky when I've got no hit points. But I'm going to start to make the play anyway, because a lot of the team are now distracted. If I want to get any more out of this game, I've got to move forward. We do manage to catch this Emil out, and we do manage to pick up a kill, putting us under 5,300 damage. Now we've turned this game, we should win this game at this stage. We've got the numbers, enemy team is surrounded. It's just about getting as much out of this game as possible. We know there's going to be 2 TDs over there. I like tanks still full health, going to let them go in first and see if we can get any shots in. So we're looking for a few shots. There's a one-shot TD. We might as well pick up this kill. Looking to see if we can get a shot into this Scorpion G. We get one in, and now I'm just hoping. I'm just going to be patient and just, we've only got one shot. I'm not going to get a chance to get another reload in anyway, so we might as well just wait and see if that Scorpion G does poke, and if we're able to pick up the kill. If not, obviously they get killed by our friendly team. But thankfully for me, he does poke, and we're able to pick up our 4th kill, bringing an end to the game, and picking up just shy of 6,000 damage with 4 kills. So a decent game. Yeah, 4 kills, 6,000 damage, 600 assistance. It is only, unfortunately, the first class. We do get the high caliber, I think mainly because, obviously, we are top tier, and we weren't spotting for ourselves a lot of that time. So a lot of the time, you know, it was other people's spots, so we weren't shooting our own tanks, which does give you more XP. But that is the end for replay number 2, with one more to come. So I'll see you over there in a bit. Okay, so here we are for the final replay here on Vineyards. Now this time, unlike the other games, it is a tier 10 lobby. But again, there's no enemy fun police. There is an enemy light tank in the game, but yeah, no fun police, which is nice. But obviously, it is a tier 10 lobby. It's before this replay I had saved up before the Avery time, so we don't have to worry about any of them. But there is still a few, you know, Tyrans and nasty tank destroyers we've got to be careful of. So we're going to try and push up to the position I like to take from this spawn, and that's the other side on that little ridge, and I like to try and spot the enemy team and get any shots, and we'll show you the position when we get there, which is, you know, I like to play. Obviously, from we have no fun police in the game, you know, our heavies actually could use this position and go hold down on the top, because they don't have to concern yourself with the fun police, which is really nice. But I'm going to push over, just aiming my gun in case anything gets detected along the way. But I do get spotted and detected, which I'm guessing maybe is a light tank or potentially some of the TDs on the hill. But now we've got in a position, I like to use this position at the start just to get any shots on enemy tank destroyers or mediums camping on that hill, as well as the fact that I can light them up if they overpeak and potentially pick up a little bit of assistance. But at the start of this game, you know, we're already 1 tank down. It's not been ideal. I haven't spotted anything, although I do. Then a UDES does actually get detected, but that UDES we're going to really struggle to penetrate if they are using that tank property hold down, so that will be a bit awkward for us. And there is a few tanks here on the left. A lot of our tank team is kind of either stayed in the base, or we've got a few tanks with us here. We don't really have a lot of tanks on the other side, which is okay because it's not the easiest base in the world for the enemy team to push. So I'm not too concerned. An enemy light tank does get detected there. Unfortunately, I missed my shot, but the light tank does get slapped, losing half their hit points. We're going to try and get a shot in here. We do. We're hoping to get another one in. Obviously, it does have quite a long interclip, so while the interclip's going, I'm just getting behind cover, and then I'm going to look to see if we can pick up the finish, and we do, taking out the enemy light tank, which is massive, taking out that tank early doors, picking up a kill, picking up 600 damage, and now we're on reload, and we're waiting for this reload to come in. While we're doing so, we're just kind of having a little look around to see what tanks are with us. You know, so I know it's important to know what's there, because now I know what's covering me and what potentially has shots. And again, we're just looking for positions. You know, where this enemy medium tank is spotted and this enemy TD I'm looking at here. In an ideal world, I want to push up underneath that ridge, and then I can try and spot the enemy teams at the base and get shots. But I can't really do so until that medium or on the left hand side of the map is been destroyed. Now what it is, we're starting to lose the other side of the map, as you can see, so I do need to make a decision now whether I'm going to push and try and win this side, or whether I'm going to go back and defend the base. But I don't want to end up losing both sides of the map, because then that's when you're in trouble. So I decided that I'm going to try and get rid of this medium, and just hope that when I go in on the medium, if I get a few shots in and turn them, but our friendly team will go in and help me, because I am going to need some support. But I want to just try and force this so we can try and get on with this game. We're starting to lose tanks here. I'm going to push to get side shots on this tank. I'm hoping that when he turns for me, or if he turns for me, my friendly team are going to help me and actually push over. We've damaged his engine. We've got 2 shots in there. We should get a 3rd shot in, which we do. And now, thankfully, my team are pushing in and engaging, which is exactly what I needed to happen, because now we can get to the ridge, which is where we wanted to be, and we have lost the other side of the map. But it's not, like I say, we've got a lot of tanks in our base. It's all very even, so it's not going to be the easiest base to push when we've got our whole team there. So I'm going to try and get shots in and use this position where I can now. This is, this is a strong position I've taken. You can see the enemy TDs and stuff. They can't play this position while I'm here because they're going to get detected and they're going to get shot. From any tanks you see that behind me, like that Leopard, he's going to have shots at these enemy teams when I detect them. So we picked up 2,200 damage, 1,600 assistance. We got a kill and we haven't lost any hit points. So it's been a pretty decent start to the game. There's still 10 enemy tanks in the game, very, very even on the scoreline. But there's still a lot more we can get out of this game. Enemy Shasha gets spotted. He's now running, but I have cross shots this tank. We get one shot in. We're hoping to get another one in. We can't quite get it in, but he's going to keep pushing, and we should be able to get this shot in. We do put in this Shashka onto a one shot. We're hoping to kill this tank before they escape. They are still running, and we just squeeze that shot in, confirming the kill. Putting us on to just shy of 3,000 damage and taking control of this area. The enemy team are starting to make the way towards the base, like this enemy Udes here. But I should have some cross shots. I should be able to try and get one into that Sheridan there. Unfortunately, that shot misses. Then E100, I've noticed, is actually looking for a shot onto me, or at least his turret was facing that way. I try and get one into the drive wheel, and now we are back on reload. But I'm just going to actually keep this position, because if the enemy team actually do push around the outside of this ridge, just like this enemy Matsu is, I'm going to have cross shots onto this tank. And I have got a little rock to try and keep myself safe, and I'm shooting for a bush, so he might not even spot us anyway from doing so. Chances are he's not going to, and we do get one shot in. We should have to finish. If he stays lit, we should have to finish. Unfortunately, he doesn't stay lit. We get one in, putting him onto a one shot, however, and then he gets detected again. So hopefully we should be able to squeeze this shot in and confirm the kill, and we do that. Enemy Tyrann has now been spotted, which is not ideal, because we could lose 1,000 hit points to another completely balanced tank, and we're going to go back on reload. Thankfully for me, I have team protecting me. The Tyrann, obviously, although it is very, very nasty, it does have no armour at least, so if he is just a full send round this to try and get a shot into me, probably going to die. So I do have that protection going for me. Unlike the Avery, you probably could just push around and just bounce all the shots and slap me. At least the Tyrann is going to lose his hit points for us. He's poking for a shot here. Thankfully, if he misses that shot, unfortunately we miss ours. We should be able to get one in here. I should be able to at least get another shot in before they were reloaded. We do get one in, but now we're going to pull back, because he's going to get close to his reload, and the time he actually comes around, he's going to be able to shoot us. So we get back on the reload, get behind this rock to keep us safe, and we're hoping for one of our friendly teams to land a shot, or and pick up a bit more assistance off this tank. Obviously, if the Tyrann does fire, and once I'm loaded, I'm going to use the opportunity to try and deal with the tank. But I need to try and bait the shot, because the Tyrann, it could easily take away 1,000 of our hit points. We spot an enemy Death Star getting a shot. I think we tracked him in place there, but we've repaired the trap. We do pick up assistance for it anyway, and an additional shot of damage, which is nice. Trying to poke to light them again. Obviously, I am very conscious that the enemy Tyrann's last known location, so that is in the back of my mind. I'm trying to push around and see if we can get more involved in this game, and I was going to see if we can get any side shots, because where that Tyrann is, it wasn't really able for me to push them at that point. So I was going to go around to get shots there, but I kind of decided that's not where the damage is now. I need to try and push forward. I could spotted an enemy medium tank there. The Tyrann is there. We get a nice shot on the move there. Now at this point, our friendly Death Star's pushing up, and I'm looking to see if this Tyrann shoots. If the Tyrann shoots, I'm going to get I'm going to shoot the Tyrann. So I'm trying to bait the shot there. Bit risky. Now I'm trying to hope. Now at this point, our Death Star shot's nice. I just assumed the Tyrann had shot at our Death Star. I don't know why, but I thought the Tyrann had shot, and yeah, he hadn't. He hadn't shot, and then he slaps me for 1,000 hit points. So a bit of a mistake on my part there, but I really thought that Tyrann just shot the Death Star. But yeah, unfortunately, he didn't. But as it is, in this game, you know, it's looking like we should be able to get the win. There's 3 tanks left, but it is just a shame we lost those hit points, because now I want to push up to the enemy base and spot them, but I've got to be a bit more careful doing so, because I can't eat a shot coming in. So I'm going to try and take the wide route round. I know there was an enemy Death Star thereabouts. I'm hoping that we can spot them in the open and pick up the assistance. Unfortunately, a Death Star has made its way towards our base and spotted, so I'm not going to get any assistance off of that tank. There's 2 tanks left. One of the tanks is this J-Panther, which we have detected, but they have no hit points left. We do pick up a bit of assistance. It's just this enemy STG left on 800 hit points. We're hoping to get a couple of shots into this tank if we can. We get 1 tank in, we're looking for a second one, but it gets slapped before we can. And that brings us an end to the video. So let's just see how we got on. 3 kills, 5,500 damage, 2,100 assistance. Being that it is a top tier, tier 10 lobby game, we do get the ace tank up, and that is an end for the video. So as always, thank you so much for your support. I say it all the time, but it does mean a lot. You guys have been brilliant. So as always, happy tanking.
Enemy in sight. Hadouken!